Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to get into planets in the second houses. You know what I'm saying? Planets in the second houses. Now, what should we start with? Let's start with the sun. Now, the sun. Now, we know the sun illuminates. The sun is what this light bulb is actually doing, but it's a fabricated version of it. You know, it brightens up. It illuminates wherever it's at. It can show where your actions and how you act mainly at in the situations of your life, which is the houses. The houses is a situation of your life. So each house represents a situation of your life. Now the second house represents your values. What you have to value. What you feel like you have to offer to the world. I like to look at the second house like the seed house. This is the house that you plant your seed. Like each house trine has a flow with it. So since we're talking about the second house, for the sake of me not rambling, I'm gonna go ahead, just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna just break down the second, but the second house trine, which is the second house, the sixth house, and the 10th house. And I like to look at these houses like the second house is planting the seed. The sixth house is working on that seed, which is working towards it every day, making sure it's healthy, watering the plant, you know what I'm saying, doing all that, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying, taking care of nurturing and working towards that plant goal. You know what I'm saying? Now, the 10th house is when that flower actually blossoms. Now you have the recognition and you're able to be seen as growing a flower properly. And now the people could look at that flower as what it has grown to become. And the organizational structure with it and all that, and it's grown now, and it took the step-by-step procedure. Now it could be an example for other flowers. So the second house is planting the seed. So you have to value growing a flower in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So you have to value something in the first place in order to plant the seed. So whatever you value in this world, or whatever you feel like you have to offer, you have to plant that seed. For an example, if you want to be a musician, you have to go somewhere and make some music. If you want to be an actor, you have to go somewhere and take some acting lessons or this, that. You have to plant that seed. Plant that seed so you can start seeing the manifestation. That's another archetype of the second house, because the moon is exalted in the second house. Because the second house is ruled by Taurus. So the moon loves to be in the second house. So, you know what I'm saying, this is the manifestation energy. You know what I'm saying? This is actually seeing something grow, which takes time. Earth signs are very good with time. You know what I'm saying? All this is indulged in the second house archetype. So that's like even your self-esteem. When someone, for an example, when someone feel that they look ugly or something like that, based on their self-esteem and based on planets relating to their second house, they're not going to care. If a person could be super ugly, they're going to feel super beautiful if they have certain arrangement of planets that makes them value themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, for an example, if the second house lord, whichever sign is in your second house, the ruler of that sign, whatever second house lord, if the second house lord is in the first house, these people are going to value themselves. They're going to value their personal issues. They're going to value their personal things, their personal people in their life, their personal insecurities, their personality. So it all revolves around them valuing themselves. People who have probably the second house lord in the 10th house may value their career. People who got the second house lord in the 6th house may value their work. Might value their work. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just a lot of scenarios that could go on. But let's talk about the planets in the houses. Now, you have the sun. The sun is going to illuminate. It's going to brighten up. It's going to shine. It's going to bring attention to. We know when things ain't in the dark and things is brought into the light, it brings a form of attention energy. So people start to see it and pay attention to it and stuff like that. So it's like vitality and the essence of it in so many ways. So when you have the sun in the second house, this is how you're going to look at things that you value or things that you might not value and things that you should value. So the sun is going to brighten that up, and other people are going to be aware of these traits, and you're also going to start to act on it, and a lot of your actions is going to be pertaining to these traits, which is the second house, like I was just talking about. So things that you value, how you appreciate yourself, what you feel like you have to offer. Now, a lot of astrologers like to tie the second house to money, but it's really just the value house. It's just in this time, space, and continuum we're in right now, a lot of people value money. So when we talk about it, we have to relate that to the value house. So if that's something you value, then it's going to fall into the second house archetype. But by no means necessary, the second house just means money. Money is paper and a program and something that was brought here by mankind in order to create a bargain and a gain system. That's it. That's all. Can't tie that to no planetary energy to you. Like I said, humans just play these energies out. You are not of these energies. You just play these energies out. So yin and yang is a powerful energy that just so happens to go through a lot of things in this plane of existence that we're in right now. That plays out. You know what I'm saying? It plays out in so many different ways. Now, so the sun is going to lighten this house up. So this makes a person action orientated towards these type of archetypes in the second house, or this makes a person, or this puts you in situations where you see a lot of other people in these type of situations, and in order to help you or hurt you for better or worse. But this is going to be your main outlook. This is going to be how you see things, or things that you should be acting on. Now, the moon in the second house. Now I want to say this too. The moon falls, not falls, but the moon. I mean, not the sun. The sun in the second house. Now, this can make you value the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun is exalted in the first house, and the sun rules the fifth house. So it being in the second house, it may put a lot of spotlight on things that shouldn't necessarily be expressed. Like, instead of expressing yourself, like if the sun was in the fifth house, you're going to express yourself through something that you have, or some type of material, or something like that, when the sun comes into the second house. Also, instead of expressing your personality, or taking actions toward your personal issues, or the personal things that you're going on in your life, instead of putting spotlight on that where it's supposed to be, you're going to be putting it on handling your issues in other ways, that you may need something or have to gain something or something, or even a person or something like that. So that's another way how the sun in the second house can play out. Now, the moon in the second house. The moon is your reactions, how you react. So when we talk about the moon, when you react to things, you start to feel a certain way, and that when you start to feel a certain way, it sparks an emotional response. So the emotional response is up to you if you want to gain an emotional structure around whatever you just experienced. So whenever you experience that again, you could go back to that emotional structure that you built for that situation. Now, the moon, this is how you nurture yourself. This is how you take care of yourself. This is the world you're in. This is how you see yourself. This is how you feel, and this is how you're going to react to things, to all things. Now, when it's in the second house, you're going to react to people's values. You're going to react to things of value, or you're going to be emotionally connected to things of how you should feel, or what you should value. Like, and then a lot of people with the moon in the second house, they value their emotions, they value their feelings, they value other people's emotions at times, they value other people's feelings at times. Also, with the moon here in the second house, you're able to feel, like really feel. Like, it's not just a simple sense of the sun being here where you want the material gain to be seen a certain way. The moon is more like you get a material gain, or you go get something, or it could play out in a person. You could look at a person like this too. You go get them, and that you value them. That's how you base your emotional structure at times, by having things. So for an example, the sun in the second house may want to show money just to show people that they got money for the sake of bragging rights. The moon in the second house would broadcast money more because they feel like they need it for an emotional support, like an emotional stability. Like, they feel uncomfortable when they may not have money, or when they may not have something, or these people are emotionally connected to certain things that they may have. Like, they may have had something from an old family member or something like that that was passed along to them, and they just hold on to it. They don't get rid of it. These people know how to hold on to things also, you know what I'm saying, with the moon in the second house. And they know how to manifest things. So they know how to plant seeds. It's just a lot of times the moon can get chaotic to the point that they don't based upon other planetary alignments, they don't take the time to necessarily work on the seed that they're planting. So they plant so many seeds and so many things manifest in their life that could cause them in chaotic situations when it comes to things that they value, or comes to things that they own, or even people that's in their life that they value and appreciate. So that's how that could play out with the moon in the second house also. Now, when we talk about, let's talk about Mercury. Mercury in the second house. Now, with Mercury in the second house, see now, Mercury is communication. Wait, I want to talk about the exaltation of the moon being in the second house also. Now, exaltation, that means like somewhere you always want to be. I like to look at that like you're going, like a kid going to Disneyland, or a person just getting like something you always want to do. Somewhere you really want to be. So an actor, favorite place to be is on a movie set. So with the moon being an exaltation in the second house, the moon is able to add meaning, add time, add nurture, add caring to what they're actually valuing. So if you a person and a person in the moon in the second house value you, they're gonna have the necessary nurturing qualities. They may even come across Cancer like at times, and they're gonna have the necessary qualities to make you feel nurtured when they're around you. You're gonna feel comfortable around them, and that's if they value you. If they don't, they're gonna treat you as such, and they're gonna be kind of distant towards you a little bit. Now we can talk about Mercury. Now with Mercury in the second house, this makes you think fast, makes you want to communicate, makes you want to look at details when it comes to values. And then this makes you look at what other people may value, what other people may look at what they have to offer. Like you got plenty of ideas when it comes to this realm. You like to talk about what you value, you like to talk about money, you like to communicate, you like to put yourself in situations where you can kind of talk about what you're going to do, talk about how you're going to do this, plan, give ideas. Now this is not a good placement for actual starting something, but this is a good placement for like creating ideas for something that's already started, or someone that you're around that's already, because you know Mercury rules the third house, so that's more like communication and amongst familiar, being around the familiar places and faces. So when you got that in the second house, instead of elaborating with others, you're trying to elaborate about practical things, common sense, things that you value. So you get into detail what people actually value in this world. And you know what this person like, why they like it. You know what this person like, why they like it. You know the details of what would make a person like it. And you can come up with new ideas about things, you know what I'm saying, and put it together. So you can place yourself in good situations with this placement. It's just, you may not value one thing, you may value many things, to the point that it comes to a situation where you may not value anything at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? This makes you a little reckless in the area of security, in the area of, because you're more idea than practical. And with Mercury here being in the second house, yeah, you're going to be very good at remembering things and details, but you're not going to stick to one thing long enough in order to see that seed come to where it needs to go. Now, it could be a lot of positive things that come out of Mercury in the second house also. Like I said, you're good with business. You might be a good salesman. You might be a good person that could put on a show, or a good front. Like you could put on a good front. You could talk, because you know the common mind of what a person may like or what a person may value. So you know how to put it in words. You know how to communicate it right. So you're the type of person who may talk more than action. You know what I'm saying? You may talk a good game, but people need to put it into action. But due to other planetary alignments, you may be able to put this into action really good. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not a detriment to anything. Now, when we talk about Venus, now Venus in the second house. Now Venus loves to be here. This is home for Venus in the second house, because Venus is the filler planet. It's the daughter. And Venus is the planet of love, appreciation, and values. So when it's here in the second house, it's able to appreciate things more. It's able to create a value around things. It's able to it's able to touch it, it's able to feel it, it's able to relate to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like beautifulness. It's like beautiful art. So right here, Venus in the second house is great because Venus can also explore in the earth realm. You know what I'm saying? Because we're here on the earth realm. So Venus gets to explore all the pleasures that it wants to explore here in the second house. So this means that it may play out in situations where you always get support for your needs and wants, or you know what I'm saying, you always got somebody there, or you might be the person who's always the crutch for someone else when it's time for something that they need at the time or that they want at the time. And you know what I'm saying, you're able to appreciate people and value other people and value others, and you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. So you know, only problem with this is you could be a little bit too naive with this placement, a little too giving to people who's undeserving. You know what I'm saying, a little too sharing. You know what I'm saying, or it may put you in a situation, depending on other planetary alignments, that it may put you in the complete opposite. You're the one that always need to put yourself out there. Like you may be in a relationship and the relationship may be going smoothly, but you may be the type of person who always needs somebody to tell you they love you, or you always need some type of reassurance because you always feel like, you know what I'm saying, you just need that. You need that reassurance that that person values you, that person appreciates you. So that could be a problem also. So you got the good and bad with that. Now, let's get to and woo. And then, sorry, I'm like moving around in circles and shit because you know my stomach on fire. And not because I ate or anything like that. It's just y'all know my little motherfucking issue, and fuck all that right now. We on some other shit. Mars in the second house. Now, wherever Mars at, Mars take. Because for the most part, Mars take initiative. Mars is intended to do something, so it has intentions. Mars is passion. Mars is willpower. So Mars here in the second house, for the most part, for the good thing, is going to make you have passion for what you have, what you value, what you feel like you have to offer to the world. You know what I'm saying? It can make you stubborn because whatever you feel like you have to offer, whatever gift you think you have, you can oppose it onto others because of that passion factor right there. So you passionately out here expressing what you have to offer, but it may be opposing to others, and sometimes you can't come to the conclusion of how to relate to what other people may value. Like what you may value may not be what another person may value. So you may oppose your values on others at times. Another thing with Mars here, Mars is the aggressor. So you're going to be aggressive in your value system also. So this is good for business, because when it comes to planting seeds, or when it comes to money matters, or when it comes to gaining stability, you're going to be aggressive at it. These are going to be your intentions, things you intend to do in this realm that we in right now. This is going to be like, you're going to be passionate about things that you want to accomplish, things that you want to do, things that you want to create a foundation on. You know what I'm saying? Things to fall back on, planting a seed. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have enough willpower to go to it. It's just the negative part is it may oppose others, or a lot of times you may be a little overly aggressive to the point that no one will want to help you or put you in a situation where you can go ahead and act out all your passionate aspirations when it comes to things that you value and what you have to offer to the world. So that's the only bad thing about it. But the good thing about it is you're able to go full force and take initiative when it comes to creating a foundation in your life. Just try not to burn too many bridges with this planet in the second house. Now, Jupiter in the second house. Now, with Jupiter in the second house, now I'm gonna tell you. Let's go back to Mars. See, I keep missing stuff. That ain't all the archetype. See, Mars falls in the second. Not falls, but it's away. So when I say a planet is away, a planet is debilitated. So when a planet is debilitated, I like to say it's at work. So when I say it's at work, that's like what happens when you at work. You don't want to be there, but you have to use the tools in order to get the job done. In order for you to do what you have to do. So you gotta do what you gotta do in order to get the job done. So you have to, you know what I'm saying? So with Mars being in the second house, that's kind of how Mars feel in the second house, because when Mars want to go ahead and act out and do what it initially wants to do and act out its passions and things that it intend to do and its intentions, it has to focus on practical things. Like, it just can't go out fiery and just do what it wants to do. It has to be stabilized. It has to think. It has to slow down. You know what I'm saying? In the second house, and it has to organize and penetrate to where it's pointing this energy to. See, Mars don't like to slow down. Mars like to go out and you know what I'm saying? But when you have to play chess instead of checkers, then that's when Mars can get a little hesitant. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just like when you playing chess. Mars will be one of the soldiers in the front of all the back, all the back pieces. You know what I'm saying? That's Mars want to go trail. You know what I'm saying? When you start to think about trapping the other person's king and all that, it's not until you get to start to use your queen and your horses and all that stuff, to the point that when you start to think and start to, you know what I'm saying, align yourself with the how you're supposed to practically do it and start to take more time. You know what I'm saying? That's when chess start getting long between players. And when you just, the first thing you do is move the first pawn, the first soldier. That's Mars, the first thing. Like, you just do those all fast and all that. So that's what Mars want to do. Mars don't want to sit back and think. Mars want to go ahead and act out the expression of it. So in the second house, is just not able to do that. So it's going to frustrate you at times when it comes to doing details and when it comes to slowing down and stuff. But for the most part, when you learn how to overcome this, because a square is a learning process, when you learn how to overcome this, you learn how to put yourself in a situation where you can point to where your Mars energy can go towards, to the point that you start to aggressively feel passionate about getting into details. And then that's where your Mars energy will go towards, being happy about doing that. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, how you learn, and what you're going to experience in this lifetime, space, and continuum that we in right now. So Jupiter in the second house is going to cause expansion. So things that you value, it's going to expand it. Now, when I say that, that means like when a person goes to the store with Jupiter in the second house, say they go to Burger King and Burger King got 2 new Whoppers out. You want to try one of them, but you don't want to leave Burger King without getting the other one for later. So you don't want to you don't even get it at all, because unless you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to buy both of them. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to buy both of them. You know what I'm saying? That's like Jupiter in the second house. It expands your values. It expands what you appreciate, what you have to offer to the world. So this makes you very wise, very knowledgeable when it comes to planting seeds. This is another idea. See, it works a little bit like Mercury a little bit. Just Mercury is more on the left brain side. Jupiter is more on the right brain side. So Jupiter is going to put what you actually have, or who you value in this lifetime, or what you value. It's going to actually put meaning behind it, even a spiritual meaning behind it to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? You're going to relate this to something else, and you're going to think you got this because of this reason, and you got this because of this reason, and that's the reason why you got this, and that's the reason why you value that, and that's the reason you got rid of that. That's what Jupiter going to do. Mercury is more like, okay, I got this because of this, because I need this for that, and that, I got that for that. You know what I'm saying?